Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and this is Shifting Perspectives and Triadic Healing. This is the official podcast where you learn Triadic Healing. It's a full walkthrough. So, we're going to talk for a moment now we are going to talk on your identity and your authority. When we are born with two things always, and that is our identity and our authority. Now, our identity is already tucked inside of us. We just don't quite know what it is yet because it requires the age of exploration, which is like my favorite thing in the world, to understand who you are. The authority is something else you are born with. Unfortunately, you are incapable of using your authority when you're an infant because it requires communication, it requires knowing, it requires a few ethical things in place in order for that to occur. So, the very first thing that happens when we are born is we are at the complete mercy of our caregiver, and our authority is immediately passed from us over to our caregiver for safekeeping. I want you to think of your authority as your inheritance, your given right, and your inheritance. What is supposed to happen in a healthy setting is your parents are supposed to leave you alone. You are supposed to be nurtured and cared for. You're supposed to be given a safe place to grow and develop. The nurturer of your family, traditionally the mother, I disagree. I think it's traditionally the father, but I believe that fourth perspective thinking and fear and the patriarchy has conditioned us to believe that the provider role should belong to the father and the nurturer role should belong to the mother. And I think this is backwards because most of the men I meet are either nurturers or they are nurturers who are in severe denial and trying to prove that they are providers by being tough men. Meanwhile, the majority of women I meet are providers. They are strong and solid, and that's why we call them mama bears, is because they're providers. And when it really comes down to the safety of a child, it's the mama bear you don't want to mess with because they're the providers. So when we sit down and we look at the nurturer, the provider, what you are supposed to be learning about the nurturer or from the nurturer is self-comfort. You are not supposed to be comforted by the nurturer. You are supposed to be learning how to self-comfort by your nurturer. Likewise, the second ethic, you are supposed to be learning how to be resourceful from the provider. But we don't. In most cases, the provider just provides and you never learn how. So by the time you get to be 3 years old, you have not learned how to comfort yourself. You expect your mother to do that for you. You expect your nurturer to do that for you. And you do not have any resourcefulness. You have no idea what you can do. You have no idea what your resources are because your father takes care of all of that, which leaves you in a position where you are not capable of comforting yourself in their absence, and you are not capable of being resourceful and solving your own problems because that information was not taught to you. So when we go to our first daycare, when we go to our first day of preschool or kindergarten, there are a lot of children who just scream at the absence of their parents because they never learned self-comfort. That is the difference between a child who is secure enough in themselves that they can leave mommy and daddy's side and a child who has to stay cleaning and completely dependent upon them because they think in their minds they still have not learned that they can be independent from their parents because their parents have failed to teach them how. So, Triadic Healing teaches you how. Triadic Healing literally takes on the role of your parent and does all the training that you should have learned in the right order properly. That way you gain the life skills that you should have gotten from your parents, but most of us didn't. So we start you right off with self-comfort. Now, once you get to a certain point, around 8 years old, you are supposed to be all set, ready to go, truly. And your eight ethics should be in place if your parents did the right thing and left you alone. But in most cases, parents overparent or parents completely neglect. Overparenting enables you. It's codependency. Overparenting does everything for you. So you get everything you need technically without learning any of the skills of how to do it yourself. Enabling. Overparenting literally is the core source of narcissism and the empath. It all comes from overparenting. The flip side of all that is neglect. That is when they don't give you what you need. They teach you scarcity due to the neglect and absence, and they don't even meet your basic needs while failing to teach you how to do self comfort on your own and do whatever you need on your own. So, in most cases, what you get is one parent who's overprotective and one parent who's completely absent. So, you are experiencing scarcity, you are experiencing enabling, you are experiencing the lessons, narcissist lessons. I'm just going to call it narcissist lessons from now on. You are experiencing narcissist lessons, and you are experiencing neglect and a lack of education all at the same time. And that is how 99% of us are raised, with narcissist lessons, codependency, an inability to get the resources you need, an enabling system that leaves you completely incapable of taking care of yourself while experiencing the scarcity mindset, while getting no education for your own resourcefulness or anything else that you need. So that by the time you are 8, you are in no position to accept your authority. In fact, you are at a massive deficit, so that you can't even stand up and say, "Excuse me, I want my authority, please." That doesn't happen. You have conformed. Congratulations, you are a Borg. And you are taking the role that was assigned to you by the expectations that your parents put onto you. In the meantime, you are in no position to be allowed to exercise your identity because your identity threatens their expectations of you. So, in addition to this conglomerate, you are also put in a position where you are suppressed so significantly to ensure that you conform to tradition, religion, faith, culture, and anything else your parents wanted you to obey or conform to. So by the time you are 8, they still have the authority, or the authority is still in the hands and possession of society or a religious leader or your caregiver or the head of the household. It's anywhere except with you. And there is a good chance, because you have not learned the vital lessons required to get you to where you need, what ends up happening is you never realize you need to claim your own authority and assert it. That is done through communication and boundaries. But during the early conditioning process, when we all learn narcissist lessons, we were also told and strongly informed that children are not to be speaking. You don't interrupt. Under no circumstances should you ask questions. Respect your parents. So as a result, we are learned at a very young age to destroy our communication skills, to not talk, to destroy our ability to set a boundary. So by the time we're 4 years old, our entire defense system is completely inactivated, which is the perfect scenario for our fear system to wake up and take care of the job for the defense system. So by the time you reach 20, you don't have a defense system. You don't have an identity. You are absolutely a good, obedient, subservient Borg who acts and follows all the rules accordingly and meets the expectations of mom and dad perfectly. Congratulations, you're a robot. Your identity does not exist, and your parents still have the authority. So you go off and you live the life they wanted you to live, exactly as they wanted you to be. You have achieved conditional belonging, the fact that they accept you because you have met their expectations. But it cost you your identity and your authority. You reach 35, you have your midlife crisis, you break down because you can't stand it anymore. So you try therapy, you seek therapy, you figure out what's wrong with you. You can't understand any of it. You may or you may not confront your parents. And if you do confront your parents, what you're really doing every time you enter into a power struggle is you are really fighting for your authority to come back to you. Every time you get into a power struggle with anyone, it's actually an argument over who's going to get possession of your authority. So, identity and authority are really the two core things that make up a healthy individual. And in most cases, none of us have those things. What we got instead was narcissist lessons. So, Triadic Healing is literally designed to walk you through the entire stages of growth and the process required to internalize the 12 ethics. We only cover the first 6 in Triadic Healing, and I don't teach the part 2 is for later. We only cover the first 6. And that is designed to basically restore your identity and your authority back to you. That's all we're doing with Triadic Healing. And we're doing it in a very strategic, precise manner so that you internalize the 6 ethics in the right order, just as you were supposed to when you were a child. And in the meantime, when we do that, we also tear away all the expectations that were dumped on us that has shaped us into good little obedient Borg. We're going to get rid of all of that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to go on to the next video. I'm probably going to be here all day just going through Triadic Healing with you in pieces. This is like my full focus right now. And if you like shit like this, subscribe, like, follow, donate to the garden, click on the link below, comment below. Let me know what part of the show resonated with you and become a member. That is the integration workshop, Journey into the Self, where we can do Q&As. It's a Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I go into a Zoom meeting with all of the members and I do workshops. I do communication boundary classes. We cover emotions. In addition to that, I do my Power of Self workshop and we tear this apart. So if you have any questions, if you want to sit down and really dig deep into any of this work, or if you want to share your story, become a member of the Healing Garden and join the integration workshop, Journey into the Self, and that's going to open up a massive amount of material for you. If you are new to this and you just popped in and wanted to see what it is, this is Triadic Healing. It is a free online course for literally all of your healing journey needs. If you want to restore authenticity, anything it is you want to do, click the link below and it will give you an explanation of getting started and what Triadic Healing is so you can determine if it's something you want to take on. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.